About 2 weeks ago, a scientist from France was coming into the United States to attend a educational conference in Houston, Texas. Right? No big deal. I'm a scientist over in France. I'm going to come over here. There's a great medical educational conference in Texas. I'm going to go to the conference. So, hops on his plane in France, gets into the United States, shouldn't have had any problem, except that the U.S. officials did a random selection of this individual, pulled him out of line, started going through his personal electronic devices, and found some text messages that he had sent to his, friends, family, whoever, private conversations on his cell phone, where he had openly criticized Donald Trump and the attack on education here in the United States via the defunding of institutions from Donald Trump, defunding research through USAID and through NIH. So this scientist, understandably, not super happy that we're basically defunding medical research and education here in the United States, and he told his friends that. The man was detained, because this happened on March 9th, for 24 hours. His personal electronic devices where he had these text messages were confiscated by the U.S. government. And because he criticized Donald Trump in those text messages, he was effectively deported back to France. Didn't get to go to his conference. I don't even know that he got his electronic devices back because, according to those U.S. officials, quote, "This could be considered to be terrorism." First of all, that's not even a grammatically correct sentence. So it kind of shows you the dimwits we got working there. But because this man, again, an upstanding citizen, a freaking scientist with a PhD, he texts somebody like, "Man, I don't like what Trump's doing." They're like, "Well, obviously this guy's a terrorist, right?" That's insane. And of course, that is dictator crap. If you criticize Donald Trump, even in private conversations on your cell phone, you can't come into the country now? We're just shutting it off. Only people who have MAGA hats on their heads carrying a Trump flag off the plane, they're going to be the only ones allowed in this country? Because if that is the case, let us know right now, because that ain't a country I want to be a part of. I want the scientists. I want the smart people to come into this country. And let's face it, I don't think I've ever seen any Rhodes Scholars out there sporting MAGA hats. You really don't see those at the local Mensa meetups, now do you? Let's bring in the smart people. Instead of saying, "No, you're criticizing Trump, get the hell back to your country," after we detain you for 24 hours. The French Minister for Higher Education and Research said, quote, "I learned with concern that a French researcher who was going to a conference near Houston was denied entry to the U.S. before being deported. This action was taken by the American authorities because the researcher's telephone contained exchanges with colleagues and friends in which he expressed a personal opinion about the Trump administration's policy on research. Freedom of speech, independent research, and academic freedom are values that we will continue to stand for resolutely." And they do. We don't. Meanwhile, you got J.D. Vance out there telling us that in Europe, freedom of speech is under attack, versus the United States that won't let you into the country if you criticize Donald Trump in a private text message, right? Which country do you think is actually attacking the freedom of speech? Because it's not them. It is, in fact, us. It's your boss, J.D. Vance, attacking the freedom of speech. This is just one of those stories that just blows my mind. Like, it genuinely blows my mind that this is now happening in the year 2025 in the United States of America. We are turning away good, smart people who are only coming here for educational purposes because they don't like Donald Trump's policies. And our government is considering that terrorism. Now, believe it or not, the FBI opened an investigation into the guy. Because again, this happened on March 9th. So the FBI is like, "Oh, you guys tell me it's terrorism. We'll get to the bottom of this." The investigation was closed after like a day. Like, that's all it took for the FBI to look at this guy and be like, "Yeah, not a terrorist. Not even close." So at least parts of the FBI are still functioning. I don't know if those people who did that investigation are still going to have jobs or not with Kash Patel, but at least for once they did their job, cleared the guy. So there's that, I guess, silver linings and all, but this is horrific, and this won't be the last we hear of stories like this. Thanks for watching today, everybody, and don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.